And welcome back to your Monday edition of Summit Sunrise. I'm here with Jim from Cutthroat Anglers, and we were just kind of chatting a little bit about the weekend. And Jim, I'm gonna put you on the spot a little bit here, but what were you doing this weekend?
There was a special event on the Blue River. It was put on by Project Healing Waters, which is a really cool organization. Their whole program is about using fly fishing for therapy for disabled vets. So most of these folks have seen some form of action. There may be physical disabilities or maybe mental disabilities, but it's really used as a tool to get them out on the water, probably clear their head, put them in a different environment. But this past weekend we had 9 anglers. Most of those fellas had never fly fished before, but we got them into some big 20 and up to 28-inch rainbow trout, so they really had a blast. And it's a really rewarding time for ourselves. I mean, the shop itself gives some cash donations to support them. We give them caps and t-shirts and everything they need, so it's really a great experience.
Now, things like this, it just warms your heart. It just makes you feel good. But I think it's just one of the things that really sets you guys apart from other shops that you might find out there. But what do you feel like really kind of sets you guys in your own category?
Well, we do try to give back quite a bit to the community and so forth, but I guess just from the fly shop's perspective, the first thing that strikes you is our location. We've been in the Silverthorne Town Pavilion for the better part of 13 years. We're right on the banks of the Blue River. We're just downstream of Red Buffalo Coffee Shop.
Right, yeah, our favorite.
So anybody who's fishing the Blue, if they need flies, information, what have you, they're going to find out that we're very handy. We really try to concentrate on having more of what our guests are after. When you walk into our shop, you can't help but notice we have a lot of flies, usually over 100,000 flies on hand. So if you can't find what you're looking for there, I think you have a problem.
Yeah.
We even sell Cutthroat Anglers signature flies that were designed by Sean and Charlie of our shop, so you can come in and talk to those guys about how to fish those flies and kind of how, where and when and so forth, kind of secret flies. I have to say our guide staff probably has more cumulative experience than any other shop around, and we offer more trip options than anyone else. We have more permits that give us access to over 200 river miles of fishable water, plus we have access to some great private water as well. And last but certainly not least, I think, is our customer service. I'm extremely proud of our shop staff. They're knowledgeable, they're experienced. It doesn't matter if you're an experienced angler or a beginner. They're going to make you feel very comfortable in our shop, and their #1 goal is to really make your time, on the water as fun as possible.
Now, I don't know anything about being experienced or being really good at fly fishing, but I do know as a complete novice that going in there, you guys are fantastic. And, it was something where before you ever, started coming in for interviews and things like that, I kind of wandered in and got my fishing license, but you guys were so helpful and it was so fun, and it just really makes me love that experience just that much more. And there's a lot of people, as we can attest to the crazy traffic on I-70 yesterday, there's a lot of people that are coming up here from the Front Range, just kind of escaping some of those 100-degree days. And for those people that might be considering a fly fishing trip, what would you recommend to them?
Well, the fishing's been great, and so I think it's a worthwhile consideration. Colorado's like a lot of states. We've been undergoing drought conditions, but those afternoon rains and the cooler temperatures have really done a lot to mitigate the lower than normal river flows and so forth. And as a result, we've really had a spectacular fishing season. But having said all that, if people are interested in a trip, they ought to book it pretty soon, because you never know what the summer might bring to the high country.
Right. Now, speaking of that, and with actually booking trips, because I am, pretty new to this whole sport, and I've done some wading, like minimal wading. But how does a trip work? Like, what is a float trip like?
Well, we offer a variety of different trips. Full-day float trips on the Colorado, Arkansas, and the Roaring Fork. We offer full-day and half-day walk and wade trips. We also offer trips onto the private water and so forth, as I said. I routinely recommend full-day float trips because they're great for experienced and beginner anglers alike. Plus, they get you into areas that are otherwise inaccessible to the public. You're going to get to see some things that you otherwise would miss out on. So it's really a fun experience.
And I don't know about you guys, but I definitely, with fly fishing, there's just like this mystique around it where I want to be surrounded by mountains. I want to be surrounded by, just gorgeous views. And so it sounds like float trip would be a good way to kind of see some of those that maybe other people don't get to see.
Sure. And there's some really cool areas that you can go fish on your own. that doesn't require, you know, a guide or anything. A couple of spots that I've been to lately, one is the Alma State Wildlife Area. It's just on the south side of Hoosier Pass. It's off of County Road 4. You can drive the family minivan right up to the area. You'll be fishing for smaller fish, 8 to 12-inch browns and brookies and so forth, in one of two settings. One is the Middle Fork of the South Platte. It's kind of a technical, small stream. It requires real stealthy techniques, but if you're able to hook up, it's real rewarding.
Oh.
And then there's some beaver ponds that are relatively easy to fish that, you know, would be great for kids. The other spot is meant for people who want that high elevation mountain fly fishing experience, and for that, Lower Crystal Lake is really hard to beat. It sits at around 12,000 feet, so you get a pretty good bird's eye view of everything from there. To get there, you drive 2.5 miles south of Breck to Spruce Creek Road and follow that for 1.5 miles. And then you'll have one or two choices. You can hike the remaining 2 miles, which has about a 1,000-foot elevation gain, or you can drive up on an old 1880s wagon road, which is in no better shape today than it was in 1880. You absolutely need a high clearance four-wheel drive vehicle, but once you get up to the lake, it's gorgeous, it's clear. Take a dry fly and you'll be able to catch these gorgeous cutthroat trout one after another. If you need a break from fishing, you can hike another 2 miles up to Upper Crystal Lake, which I think is at 12,900 feet. Takes you across the south face of Peak 10 and gives you a bird's eye view again of an area that was once very busy with silver mines and so forth.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, and if folks want to do that, they ought to, you know, contact the shop and we can help them out with advice and directions and information.
See? Love that. Just some free advice about some great spots that, you know, you guys are going to on the weekend. So how do people go about booking a trip or, you know, just getting some extra information from you guys?
They can call us at 970-262-2878. I'd have them go to our fishing report page on our website, www.fishcolorado.com. Better yet, just come into the shop and meet the staff, and we can kind of kick around some ideas and talk about what folks are interested in, and we'll get them set up.
Yep, I like that idea. I'm going to be stopping into the shop after the show, picking out some flies to go experiment. We'll see what happens with my adventures this week. But Jim, before I let you go, will you be my Vanna White of sorts?
Really?
And help me give away some free stuff?
Absolutely.
Okay, so we have to give away $40 to Brooklands over in Breckenridge. And the way this works is we do this every morning. So we have Watch and Win. All you have to do is be the first person to answer a trivia question correctly, and you